Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 246, I believe. We are back down in the basement to talk about another week of wrestling. It's me. It's you. You are my teenage son.
It is me.
Can you confirm?
Yes.
Yes. So we're back in the basement. We're going to talk about Dynamite. We're going to talk about NXT. We're going to talk about Raw a little bit. We're going to do some trivia, some news, and in light of tomorrow's event, well, you'll be when you listen to it or see it, it could be today, I guess, but we're doing this on a Friday night. But tomorrow it is AEW.
No, it's on Sunday.
So, it's Sunday.
So tomorrow's when you're
Tomorrow's tomorrow.
It will when
If you're one of the people who watches this when it comes out, tomorrow to you.
Yes.
Okay. It's Dynasty, right? So we'll talk about all those things. If you want to jump ahead, jump back, there's timestamps you can find. We usually try to talk about a little bit of banter here, but last week was pretty sad, remember?
Was that was
the week of terrible banter, but then banter started organically in the next segment, I think, right?
Yeah, so we just didn't do it right.
We did
it, we just didn't do it right.
Which is, I mean, that should be the expectation
for
people that are new here. So you're fighting an illness again. I feel like you had one not that long ago.
I don't think
I feel like there was one where, because I think one of our regular commenters was like, hope Jack feels better.
I feel like I had maybe a throat thing a little while ago, but I feel like it's been a minute since I've been actually.
So you may sound a little congested. I'm going to try and fix it in post, I was telling you. I bought a new microphone I'm pretty hyped about because everyone cares about that. It matches yours because yours sounds great all the time.
Is it new if it's the same?
And so I always switch mine in and out, but because of the music store that I frequent closest to us is going out of business, so.
Connor's?
No. Oh, sorry, not that one.
Oh.
Like the big one down in.
I don't know.
I know. I don't know if you've been there. Did you go ever? It's full of guitar. It's huge. There's a floor of guitars and a whole room of drums and et cetera, et cetera.
It doesn't sound like me.
It doesn't. But anyways, so I got really good deal on it and I really like it. So
yeah.
And if you take one to university, I'll still have one here.
I guess that is also true.
So what else is going on with you?
Power went out.
Oh yeah, we got pummeled with freezing rain because
then we were fine
because Canada.
Yeah, we walked to Walmart and there's just ice and slush everywhere.
Yeah, our power went out for a couple hours.
Yeah, and so me and Nate just resided in Walmart
for
2 hours.
And it's crazy because our next door neighbor's power was out all night and into the next day. A house we could almost reach out and touch from ours.
Yeah.
Power was out. Ours came back on.
It's funny. I was about to start gaming. I'm sitting on my beanbag chair watching the third Diver Wimpy Kid, and power goes down. The only thing lighting up the room is my phone.
You should have been rocking the T-shirt I got you.
Yeah, I know. I put it in my laundry basket because I let Mom wash it.
Your mom actually got the reference when I showed her.
So it's good for her. Honestly.
She reckoned because she's like, those movies Jack's just watching the older brother. I'm like, wow.
Good for her. Specific too.
So it is Loaded Diaper. Sorry, we're sort of talking about it and no one knows what we're talking about. From Wimpy Kid, right?
Yeah.
Which were great kid movies for you.
Generational.
I enjoyed
for my
Roderick Rules. You loved.
That's the best one.
Wasn't there a bad one though too?
Yeah, 2017 they did the Long Haul, which was the 9th book, but the 4th movie.
Oh, I was mad at we went in the
theater. Because they recast everyone and it sucked.
That's the one.
That one sucks.
I was mad we paid for that.
I hate that movie.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, we went in theater.
That's the one I remember for sure seeing in theaters. The other ones I think I was probably too young.
And I was like, wow, they stole my money. I got robbed on that.
It's horrible because the casting, I think it might be a little nostalgia bias, but I think the original 3,
I think so too, but I also think it was objectively bad.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is I think might be a little nostalgia bias, but the original 3 so perfectly cast.
Yes.
Everyone in that is just.
I remember you couldn't stand Greg Heffley at first.
But he's supposed to be insufferable though. That's correct. But in each movie he learns something else.
That's right.
He's a better friend, he's a better brother, he's a better son.
And then there's just one that makes no sense.
My thing too was with since we're divulging into this now.
We're gone.
In the 4th one, he's supposed to be in 9th grade, I think. Or at least in the 3rd one, it's summer vacation going into grade 8.
Okay.
Right? So think about, he's at least supposed to be older than that.
Yeah.
But I think he's supposed to be in 9th grade in the 4th one, in the crappy one. But he looks like he's younger than he is in the first movie.
Benjamin Button.
It's so bad. Then I think on Disney Plus in recent years, they made these animated versions of the
Yes, they did.
They've made it. I watched the first one. The animation's really ugly.
But better than the fourth movie, probably.
I guess, but I haven't heard great things about the other ones either, so I haven't gone back to them. I like that they did animated ones that were in the style of the book, but the book style animation they did in the live action ones, because they always do bits of that.
The books were
that
cool.
was like perfect.
Yeah,
like those movies are great. So I watched those in like the span of a couple of days.
It's FNS Wimpy Kid this week.
Yeah,
cancel the wrestling. We're gonna talk about Wimpy Kid. For
that
2
actually
hours.
Cool though.
Right.
Those are great movies.
Get it? Yeah, they were good. I didn't, as a dad who had to watch stuff his young sons watch. That was definitely not bad.
Yeah, no, those are great.
What's the show I hate so much?
Some Assembly Required.
Some Assembly Required. I don't even want to give it oxygen. It's so awful.
Great show.
Used to upset me.
Let me see where that's at.
The fake Lego episode is one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Knickknacks or something like that? It was called that, right?
I don't know. It was basically.
Is it still on Netflix?
Oh my God, that show.
It's still it's saying watch Something Required on Netflix. There's no way that's still
don't advertise for it. Nobody should ever watch it.
That's crazy. It's got that one guy from Letterkenny.
It's just one of those stupid kid shows with no redeeming qualities to it.
But it was
awful
a thing though.
Oh.
And the concept with the lady who lost her toy company and then she's the fake
right. That's
lady.
One of the
But she's she's played this overly stereotypical fake European thing.
And you would immediately, any normal human would look at that and go, that's someone in a costume. But not those kids.
It's just even if I feel like the costume looks decent, it's just also the fact that it's the the fake European stereotype. It's
it was
the falafel guy in Kicking It who's got his
right.
Fake
that
Indian
show was better.
Version. I love Kicking It. It's not good, but I love it.
Yeah,
I cherish Kicking It.
Yes, we'll go into this at some. We should spin off podcasts into your childhood favorite shows.
Yeah,
and my least favorite.
And Hancock. Sorry, last thing was we were talking about the one day. I found out there's a Tupi and Binu movie from a couple years ago.
I didn't mind Tupi and Binu.
Oh, we were talking about how disturbing Tupi should be. He's this giant anthropomorphic mouse who doesn't wear pants, but he wears a shirt.
Yep, he makes choices. That's Donald Duck too.
It's true. Right?
Pioneers in the no pants game. All right, let's talk about wrestling. We'll start it now. Here comes some news and rumors. NXT this week, 650,000 viewers, down 12.3%, 0.15 in the key demo, down 6.3, lowest audience of the year. We're, I guess, 4 months in now, 4 and a bit, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that's somewhat useful. And not really much competition either, just like a normal NBA game. So low numbers, not a lot of competition. Dynamite, 594,000, down 10.4, 0.16 in the key demo, down 5.9%. And that ties the second lowest rating the show has done since November 27th. I like how specific we get there. But again, my next news, I'll just piggyback on. We were talking about it early in the week, right? What I was reading, again, not hard numbers, but people saying that with Max included, because remember, I always want to know,
yeah, you've been waiting on that.
How many people, and so they're saying it's close to 1 million total with the Max. I forget what the percentage was.
I don't remember.
Anyways, I should have looked it up, but this is not a professional podcast, so I don't have to. But yeah, so if that's the case, then that's a very different ball game, right?
Indeed.
Your turn. I don't have a ton, but a lot of injuries.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of lump a bunch of them in.
Uh-oh, you might eat all mine, but I don't care. Totally fine.
So most disappointing to me is Jay White's out with a broken hand.
Yes.
He's out of the Owen tourney. He's replaced by Kevin Knight, which robs me of Switchblade Ospreay.
It really, because we were saying how star-studded it was, right? And it does hurt.
I don't like
Kevin Knight. He's cool.
And Kevin Knight's cool. Yeah, I'm not mad about that match.
It's a really cool opportunity for him.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
and he just wrestled Switchblade, so it's kind of gives him some endorsement. And it's still a pretty solid bracket. We'll talk about that later.
It is.
But it does suck. More on AEW. Orange Cassidy's out with a torn pec. That also really sucks.
Yeah, I can't imagine that'll be fast to return
that sucks because he's such an asset. He's the key to a good TV match.
He is. He's been great. Code.
Mark Davis is also, I forget what it was, but that would kind of explain that crappy short
in a match with Hobbs you sent?
Remember the short one? That was
oh, right.
That might make sense now.
With the Hobbs matches end up, being crappy because people get hurt.
This time wasn't Hobbs.
Yes, and I'm not saying he hurts people. Oh, we should trademark that.
He could. I would love that.
He would be awesome in there, but he's kind of like a duplicate of Lashley's wrong, but you know what I mean.
But like he could be the next Lashley, though.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could play into that.
You could.
And then another big one is Kevin Owens is out missing WrestleMania. He's got that too. Neck surgery. That's a bad one.
I didn't hear that. At the time I looked today, it was undisclosed.
It was.
That
on
sucks.
SmackDown he was talking about it.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
That's terrible for him because I love Kevin Owens.
Yeah. And he had a big match with Orton.
I was going to say Orton's going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Because they have to pull something out of a hat.
I think they do have a backup plan, but I'm not sure.
Add him to the Intercontinental 4-way.
I guess.
What do I have? Oh, so instead of injuries, we'll talk about people healing. Juice Robinson, did you hear?
Of course, right when Jay White's out, eh?
Right, but I don't know what this means. It's like one of those, is this news? Is a few weeks away from resuming in-ring training.
I guess it's an update, like he's closer. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's not really much, but like, that's good. I love Juice. Yeah. Big fans of Juice here.
But yeah, it's too bad he's out.
Like, I just want the group back. Is that too much?
You shall not have it.
Like,
you shall not.
Jay White's going to be out for a minute. I hope Jay White gets back for All In at least.
Me too. I really enjoy him as well.
Yeah. Rumored for Dynasty is a Caster Open challenge, which isn't much, but apparently it's supposed to be with Anthony Bowens. I would assume, but Anthony Bowens is supposed to face him, so that's something.
Yes. I don't know if that's... I'm trying to think, is that the place I want that to resume?
I guess Bowens hasn't wrestled since.
Because I'm way more likely to watch that match on TV, though, than on a pre-show.
I agree.
So it's maybe not... Because I like going that route, but...
Yeah, I don't know.
Or will it make me watch it on the pre-show?
I won't.
I'm still no.
I don't watch the pre-show.
No, you don't. I don't think I will either unless I hear it was awesome or something.
Yeah.
Only other thing I had, and you told me and I just took it, was the TNA International Title Tournament. Did you say there is a belt already?
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I don't think I've seen it.
You would definitely say something.
I would know. I did check. I don't think I've seen it yet.
So, did you see the format?
Yeah.
I
was telling you the triple threats.
Yep, right. Series of three-way matches. I don't think they're triple threats in TNA. And the first round winners all meet in a three-way at Unbreakable, which is next week or in April at some point. And they announced the star-studded cast for the first one. Did you hear?
I told you my fears already. Yeah.
Oh, you did. So Mance Warner, okay, Sami Callihan,
yeah,
sure, and AJ Francis.
Never. And
that's right. You were afraid that they're going to put that title on.
And then that'll boost,
sorry, he'll earn that title.
That'll boost his ego.
Well, he is
greatest heel in the business.
Great. That's right.
That's what he said.
Where do you go
That's
from
what
there?
He said.
Greatest heel of all time, I guess, is still attainable.
Yeah.
He hasn't reached that yet.
So.
I probably won't watch it. I don't know. I've stopped watching TNA and I don't really miss it. I hear it's
I know Ace Austin's in one of the other ones, right?
I hear it's okay right now, but I don't know. Okay is not freeing up 2 hours of my week. No offense.
I know he's not in the 3-ways, but I would have given that to Ali.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're not going to put the world title on him.
But is he still feuding with Santana?
Put him in there too.
Throw them all in. That's true. You could.
You could pick better people.
You could. I'm tapped out.
The last one is that Rusev is rumored to resign.
Right. I was going to wear my Rusev Day shirt. I forgot. You're timely with your figures today.
Yeah.
Right? You've got Mox. So you've got a title on Adam Cole there. Here's previewing our preview. Yeah. Whoa. At the end of the show, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, he's supposed to be coming back. Lana, apparently not.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fine, I guess. I don't
know. Best Rusev was with her.
Apparently he's resigned. I can't believe he resigned on Rusev Day, too. That's pretty crazy.
That's exactly right. What are the odds?
Like, of all days to resign, that's on Rusev Day.
Really slim chance of that happening. All the stars align for that one.
Sometimes you just get signed on the right day.
Good for him.
I feel like he could be the Raw after Mania appearance.
Also Rusev Day.
Which would happen to fall on Rusev Day. That's the crazy part.
That makes sense for him, yeah. Or
Orton
needs an opponent.
Does he return and wrestle on Rusev Day?
It could be. So
that's pretty crazy.
So stupid. I love
it. That's pretty crazy. Like you come on the SmackDown, which let me check. Hold on, let me look at the calendar real quick.
I'm pretty sure it is.
No, I don't.
You double check.
Let me just check. Yeah, no, that's Rusev Day.
It is.
That's crazy.
It's amazing.
What day? Actually, on all seriousness, I forget the exact date for WrestleMania. So let me check. I know it's like
it's later
I
than
know
it
it's
used
like
to be.
It is. It's like April 19th and 20th. I was gonna say I keep seeing like the other day I saw
It's
one
late.
day years ago. It was Mania 32, 38 something. It was like 30. I think 4 Manias on the same day were 21. I think 27, 32, and 38. 3 of those are horrible. 27's horrible. That's the one with Cena and Miz main event.
Amazing.
32's
Miz wins.
Yeah.
Okay.
32's also horrible. That's the one with Roman and Triple H main eventing. That was my first Mania.
Sounds bad.
Not a good one.
Not a good one.
I don't remember it being bad because I know it's regarded as bad. 38, that's the one with Lesnar and Roman again. Austin Owens as well. Zayn Knoxville.
Ew.
McMahon wrestling and taking
Disliked
the
a
worst
lot of
ever.
that one. Yeah.
Oh, we hated that one.
Yeah.
That was also a bad one. But anyways, yeah, like that's early April. This is a lot later than usual. It does happen to fall on Rusev Day.
It always is like the first weekend in April. I thought. But anyways,
it's weird.
They moved it to Rusev Day.
It used to be like way back to at the end of March even. So it's like I feel like this is them pushing back because they also did the Rumble at the beginning of February, which they usually don't do.
True. Everything's shifting. Not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
You said you're tapped out?
Yeah.
So we'll move into an in-depth review of the first thing we always talk about, and that is AEW Dynamite. Go ahead, talk about some Dynamite.
So we open with Moxley and I guess what was her name? Was she Play or she was Play, right?
She was I think she was
Play.
Was she Play?
I think we called her Play a lot.
Fight. I'm gonna look up Fight and Play. I'm gonna Google images. So you keep talking.
Taking on Swerve and Willow, and I thought it was weird. It's a mixed tag, but it's a tornado tag.
Yeah.
So which I don't think we've seen that before.
That is, I was wondering if there was like, because TNA will always tease a ton of contact, but
I feel like they kind of do it TNA style. None of the mainstream places ever really do it.
No, and WWE doesn't really like to do it at all.
Even though they just put it back in the game, at least.
Interesting. Yeah. So that is it's a kind of different match for sure.
I guess so. It kind of like, to me, it was kind of feudal because it kind of results in double singles matches a lot of the time.
It does. There's not
more so than it feels like in the mixed tag. Although you did get to mix in here, yeah.
Yeah.
Shafir to snap suplex to Willow on the floor. This was kind of interesting. It was kind of amusing. Swerve has Shafir up for JML. Mox has Willow prime for Death Rider. They're both like kind of teasing doing it. I kind of like that Shafir's like shouting for Mox to do it, like that she can take.
Yeah.
I kind of like that because she's kind of the badass, you know?
Yeah.
But neither of them actually go through with the move.
What was the other fighter play's name?
Jessamine Duke.
Oh, right.
Thank you. Shafir and Willow fight on the apron. Shafir like barely got Willow up for a powerbomb through a table. It was shaky for sure.
Was that the one where you're like stretch muffler? Brock Lock? Yeah.
And then she didn't really get
it was a weird decision to try and pick her up from that angle, it felt like.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done it that way.
No, but anyways, she went through the table. It wasn't pretty, but it
looked pretty gnarly. I mean, I guess it looked kind of cool.
The table break was good.
Yeah.
For sure.
They did a Tower of Doom with Mox and Shafir suplexing Swerve at Willow's the base of the powerbomb. So that was cool. Willow corner attacks to both Death Riders. Mox grabs her by the hair, or the air, as I wrote, add an H there.
Gotta fix it.
But Swerve comes in with a jumping knee, cannonball to Mox from Willow. Spinebuster Shafir from Willow for 2. Mox gets Swerve in a sleeper, but Willow powerbomb Shafir on Mox to break the pin. Swerve lines up for a house call. Shafir shoves Mox out of the way, takes the bullet.
Yeah.
That looked pretty nice. She's taken some finishers. I like when she takes a Blade Runner.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Willow knocks Mox off the apron through a table. The camera did not catch it at all.
At all. We saw it like 2 minutes later on a replay when they finally found one. But not at all.
And then a Dr. Bomb to Shafir for the win. But after the match, they're celebrating Mox the paradigm shift to Willow and then dips.
Yeah, you are correct. Shafir was play.
Thought so.
Duke was fight. Fight and play. Best tag team ever.
Better than Pure Fusion Collective.
So why did my first note say Jack not happy with the explanation for Switchblade being taken out?
Because they just...
There we go. I forget.
They just gave us some... Oh,
is close friends with Edge or something?
Yeah. Obviously, it was lame that they gave some off-air thing, but he's actually hurt, so it's fine. But they said they must have done it to get at Copeland since they're such great friends. No, they're not. I don't care if they've been teaming for the last month or so. They were never not once good friends.
I knew I made that note for a reason. I just couldn't remember what. But
they're not.
I thought this actually, like, I don't love pay-per-view opponents facing off against each other right before
I didn't like
a
this
match.
as much as when we usually get it, because I feel like at times we were just getting Mox versus Swerve early.
I thought this was a pretty enjoyable match. Like,
I do think it was better than a regular mixed tag.
Because they can be tough to execute because they don't want the men destroying the women. But there was actually some offense, a little bit.
A little more than usual, but more up to the standard you would expect from the intergender violence kind of thing.
And I assume Swerve... Well, so I'm giving away picks here, but I think Swerve's losing at Dynasty, so I'm not surprised his team got the win, and that I'm not surprised Shafir, who doesn't really do much, took the pin.
I don't think this is a bad match, but I still don't think it's what we should be doing on the go home. Like, this should have been something we did earlier, and then I feel like we should have another segment for Mox.
I think just a big fiery segment between the two of them to wrap it up as well. But that being said, I enjoyed this. Like, missing one of the spots on camera wasn't exactly a great move, but I think Moxley hitting the Death Rider to Willow is a good, like, heat magnet a little bit, you know?
Yeah, because it's
everybody
hitting a
loves
woman,
Willow,
but it's also everyone loves Willow. Yeah, Willow's great. Yeah, I thought it was solid. I think they could have done with another segment.
I agree.
Opposite each other instead of this, but this was solid. Like, I didn't love that it kind of felt like singles matches at a time, but they did work in intergender stuff enough.
I thought so too, just enough.
But I probably would have rather a not mixed tag, I think. They did some good stuff though. The spots they caught were good.
Yeah.
And I thought the post match stuff was good. And yeah, Team Swerve wins because he's not winning a Dynasty.
I'm afraid not.
I'm not afraid. I just know it.
Your certainty score is high.
I think
we're going to do that. We're going to do it properly. Remember the first time we did it?
Yeah.
So when we do our preview and predictions, we've got our certainty score figured out. Although I have to add in that extra match you told me about because I haven't put it
Fletch, baby.
Yeah.
Then we get an FTR interview. Dax got handsy with the referee and Cash because he lost to Yuta.
Mm-hmm.
That's
accidentally hit Cash, okay?
That's me making it sound weird. He apologizes to referee guy and gives him the money because that's how fines work.
That is how fines work. You directly pay the person.
Or you have the option to.
But maybe it was just symbolic. I don't know. But that is not how fines work. I can confirm.
Ref is accepting. He apologizes to Cash. Cash less accepting. And he says they'll talk after Dynasty.
They'll be on the same page for the match, basically, but after that, they're going to talk. So
I thought this was interesting because it's like Dax is being genuine here, it seems. So I'm not sure what the deal is. Like,
being what? Sorry?
It feels like he's being genuine. Like,
I feel like I'm not sure.
I don't know if they... Now I'm less sure that they turn, but I feel like they're definitely not winning.
I'm just really happy.
I feel like this could lead to it.
They're in a storyline, right? And I'm finding it interesting. Like, thinking, is Dax or isn't Dax? Are
they both turning?
Again, I don't think you can break these guys up.
I don't think
I know you don't care about tag teams, Tony Khan, apparently, but there's no room in the singles for either. I know you think maybe Dax, but what's his ceiling? Mid-card?
Continental.
Like, guy in a tournament that loses a lot and has good matches? That's probably it. So I think it's more likely they lose at Dynasty and turn on Edge.
That's fine. It just...
that is fine. Like, they turn heel.
Yeah, I don't know what the babyface heel ratio is in the tag.
That's true.
Now. But maybe that doesn't matter.
I don't think it does. But anyways, we'll see.
Yeah. Then we get the bracket reveals for the Owen Cup.
Yep.
Plural, I guess. There's 2 cups.
There are 2 cups.
So for the men's, on one side, it's Ospreay versus Kevin Knight, substitution for Switchblade. And then Brody King versus Takeshita, which is absurd.
That'll be fun.
Then we got Briscoe versus Fletcher, which is also sweet. And then Hangman versus TBD, which is interesting.
Who's the TBD? I read somewhere people speculating Alexander, but we talked about it. That's dumb.
I think I have a good pick.
I don't think you bring him in and have him lose, right?
Even if it's Hangman.
Because whoever's in that spot has to lose, I think. So
maybe
not.
For the women, it's Hayter versus Billy Starks, which does nothing for me in terms of being Billy Saints. Yeah. Thunder Rosa of Statlander. Glad Statlander's there. Monet Julia Hart.
Right.
And Harley Cameron versus Athena. I think the women, I think in both cases, I could see what the semis are. The women's highly predictable.
I was really surprised to see Athena and Monet on the same side of the bracket.
Yeah, I feel like it's because they're not like okay. So I kind of have thoughts on both brackets. I think they're both pretty good. Men's is more stacked, but the women's is pretty solid too. For the women, I think obviously we have a money match in Monet Athena, which it is weird it's on one side, but I feel like what's gonna happen is we get that in the other semis. I think the other semis has to be Hayter and Statlander, which is pretty sweet.
Okay.
But I feel like we could potentially build to a Monet Statlander rematch in the finals, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a potential final. But my theory is since it's not for the TBS title, I think Athena beats Monet in this, right?
Okay.
And that gives her bragging rights for a title match.
Very good point.
And
it's
then
not.
Monet costs her in the finals to protect Athena losing, and that could also get Hayter or Statlander the win. So I feel like the most likely outcome is we get Hayter and Athena in the finals.
It's actually clever.
Monet screws Athena, so that gives us Monet and Athena down the line, and then that gives us Hayter Storm because they
and
also
Monet
have
keeps
history.
all her belts.
Yes,
because that makes a lot of sense actually.
So I feel like that's the way to go. The men's bracket looks great. I feel like the natural conclusion is Ospreay Hangman.
I do too. We've been saying that since the beginning.
I think so, but I think our semis could be epic too. I think our semis are probably going to be Takeshita Ospreay.
Awesome.
Thank you. And Fletcher Hangman, which is also pretty awesome.
Yeah, you're right.
Wild cards to be considered. And so I was thinking about it, and earlier I think I landed on a pretty good potential one, which could be a bracket buster.
Oh.
It's definitely not Josh Alexander. Like it's just not.
I don't.
I think that's stupid.
You bring him in to lose.
I think there's a good chance it could be Darby Allin. Because he's also someone I think in play for the world title.
Is he gonna lose to Hangman?
I'm saying like it'd be okay if he loses, but he could also win, and that would be okay. And then, as much as I want Hangman Ospreay, think about it. If our final is Darby Ospreay, Darby beat Ospreay in the C2, so now Ospreay has a chip on his shoulder then too. And Darby's also got a bone to pick with the Death Riders. So, as much as I love Hangman Ospreay, Darby Ospreay is also a like arguably a better story for the tournament.
Is AEW a company that wants to promote him coming back ahead of time?
No, I don't think.
I don't think necessarily either.
I don't think you have to. I think there's a time and place to do that. Like we always said with the CM Punk debut,
yes.
The way they hinted that was genius. But I don't think you need to here because the whole point of the wild card is like we don't know until the.
That's true.
So I feel like it could be Darby because I don't think it's someone new.
He survived Everest.
Yeah, I don't know if he's actually gone or if he was just training. I don't think we can have someone new, right? That's the thing.
I don't think so either.
Because I think if it's someone new, that's not worth having them in the finals.
Swerve, it's Rusev.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it's Swerve. It's
you guys believe the dirt sheets. Remember WWE just did that with who was it?
Didn't McIntyre say that?
No, it was Alexa Bliss, wasn't it? She was
that
like,
too, yeah.
They were at odds and weren't signing a contract.
Yeah.
And they even said it on TV, like, we got you.
Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so I feel like the best bet's Darby because I don't know who else it could be.
Could be Darby.
Although I was saying
that would be a huge reaction.
It could be a funny plot twist or like a role reversal last year, and this time it's Hangman in the tournament, and Jeff Jarrett's the wild card.
And he gets destroyed by Hangman.
That's happened last year.
Yeah, happened again.
Then we get Toni Storm versus Penelope Ford for some reason.
Because as we know so
Ford's
well,
affiliated to Mega Main.
That's one of my complaints at the end. It's like I don't know why these two are affiliated.
I know they have been. I don't know why.
Collision maybe happened
because they both had issues.
Because Megan Bayne doesn't speak, so it's hard to tell.
Does Penelope Ford speak?
True, good point.
Like she hasn't spoken since she tried to fight Jamie Hayter for no reason.
They use up all their speaking together off camera. That's why they're so close.
She hasn't spoken since she tried to start a feud with Jamie Hayter for tagging with her 3 years ago or something.
They talk so much they have no words left.
I suppose.
Right, and we just aren't there to see it. They're super tight.
Yeah, Ford does her handspring back elbow in the corner and a pump kick. Back suplex from Storm. Hip attack in the corner from Storm. DDT for 2. Storm locks in STF. Ford gets the ropes. Moonsault off the apron from Ford. She goes for a cutter. Yeah, it was nice. She goes for a cutter. Storm counters. Storm 0 for the win. Bayne comes out, and guess what? She said nothing.
She said nothing again. Like this was a filler match, right? Penelope is fine, but she is never winning here, and
she does nothing for me every time she's there.
Again, because we don't know what the affiliation is with her and Bayne, it's just kind of meaningless. And the match was fine, but should Toni Storm take 7 or 8 minutes or whatever this was to win. I don't know.
I mean, she's not playing a regular person who's a rookie anymore, so
That's true. And we still know nothing about Bane.
like it's such a.
She was in quite the outfit and headgear this week.
It's not even a build. Like it's just.
It's hard to see her as a real threat to Storm because she's just like a big, strong, impressive person. That's it. Who is a bit like Beth Phoenix.
Like you can't say she's been built as a threat because they made her look good. Like
she looks
in her matches, she looks great.
Everything, yeah.
She beats the crap out of Storm a lot.
She looks
like she's been built to look good, but
when you know wrestling is in ring and story, there's no story there.
Right, like in a credible feud, you need to look good in the ring, but you also need to have like some character drive and some motivations and just like some build up so that it feels like there's a chance, but so that it also feels like her title win's a payoff.
Yes.
Right now, what are we paying off? Her attacking the champion?
And you're not going to like to hear this, but Toni Storm might be the biggest star in the company right now. I know that's hurtful. It's debatable, arguable.
It's debatable. I feel like you could say her, Ospreay, Swerve.
Are you taking the title off your biggest star with someone you've just introduced?
Pray that we're putting it back on Hayter at All In. Like, I mean, I'm saying.
If they can get Hayter back to how cool she was before she got injured, because she was awesome.
Yeah.
And then it's been lackluster since then. But anyways.
That just reminded me. I'm sad Britt Baker's gone.
We digress. Yeah, that's true. She had an awesome heel run.
Back in the day.
And that was like, she was very good in the ring. I don't think she was incredible, but that was a character and story thing.
That's back when we thought Thunder Rosa was good, too.
That's true. We did. That match was amazing.
What foolish. Yeah. Foolish. Then we hear from the Hurt Syndicate. They're coming out. Shelton's gone because weather.
Shelton's gone because weather?
That's what they
they did say that. They did say that.
I actually didn't catch commentary saying it. I know MJF said it later.
Did you miss the Renee and Swerve thing?
I did. Yeah, my bad. Willow's getting checked on by doctors, and Swerve puts over how strong and brave she is, and she welcomed the challenge in the match. He talked about Willow's neck injury history, which
I didn't know about. News to me.
Like, you learned something new, I guess.
They traveled up and down the road together.
Yeah. He'll get his hands on Moxley by the end of the night.
He seems to be ending with like the more serious bits, and that's what I prefer. And
I like that he does seem to have his edge a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, Angry Swerve is always better.
I agree. So that's what he's been ending his little bits with the intensity that I wish he would do all the time.
But he'll get more interesting later, I think. And then we go to the Hurt Syndicate. My bad.
I forgot. I'm like, what do you mean he gets more interesting later? But you're right.
Probably the most interesting thing I've ever heard.
Oh my goodness. It's very interesting.
Yeah. MJF interrupts before Lashes can speak. Probably wise.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest.
Yes.
It's like if you came out as Roderick Strong was about to deliver a soliloquy.
Right.
Like,
how dare you?
I was gonna say Ricochet too, but it depends on which Ricochet. He wrestled a dark match on ROH. So
amazing.
Come Thursday. What day is ROH on?
Future AEW champion.
Hey, I will support that. I will so ironically support Von Wagner that it will become unironic.
You'll like lose track of it.
I'll stop baking it eventually.
Yeah.
If he comes to AEW, I'll never say a bad thing about him.
Fast forward like 12 weeks and you're like, I think I actually really do like Von Wagner.
When Andy comes back and Plop and Pete are just, they clap for everything and they just start to have that effect.
Exactly.
Right? And it's just like, you start to actually think he's
I don't
really
even
good.
know if I'm being sarcastic anymore about liking him.
I'll never say a bad thing about I'm gonna go full tribeless because like I hated him at NXT, but then he comes to AEW and I'll love him.
He provided some entertainment. Just not in the way he intended.
No.
A lot.
His legacy is come Tuesday.
Still valid. He's entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what his dad did that was notable, so.
Not a lot. Is he a Beverly brother, wasn't he?
I think.
And then like a territory guy or indie guy before that.
Territory schmeritory.
Yeah.
Speaking of territories, you were talking about EC3s.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, there was watched a video, I forget the guy's name. He covers TNA, so I don't have to, sort of thing. One of those situations. And EC3's got an NWA.
He has his promotion. They became.
He covers NWA and TNA actually. Yeah.
What a lot in life that is.
Just who keeps giving this dude opportunities?
Billy Corgan.
Billy Corgan. That's it.
like Billy Corgan, and then I guess because he had the Impact run when he was doing Control Your Narrative before Control Your Narrative,
which was amazing stuff.
Remember he had that thing with Moose that
The fact that that guy thought that that was a good product is all you need to know.
Yeah, the whole doing the actual promotion.
That's all him making every decision, and that's what he put out. Like that's all you need to know about EC3.
It's too artsy fartsy for wrestling.
But it's like it thinks it is. But it's like just it's awful.
It's so funny.
It's really funny.
I watched this guy, the only guy I've ever seen talk about NWA, credit to I think it's Top 10 Wrestling, because I can remember things. So I actually credit people because
you remember
it's
things.
in my brain. But yeah, he's the only guy I ever see talk about NWA, which is how I sometimes keep track of it. So kudos to him. But he also did a few videos talking about CYN.
Oh my god,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, it's just I mean, that's when Braun Strowman he dipped on that to go back to WWE. So
he's to creative or whatever you want to say that role like Jeff Hardy is to music and any artistic endeavor of Jeff Hardy's.
Oh my god, every time
he thinks it's so deep and profound and amazing and it's just schlock.
I remember the other last year at some point Jeff Hardy was promoting some music shows he was doing, so he would post reels on Instagram of him singing his songs, and every time I hate it, but I watch it.
You know what I think of now that we say TNA and Jeff Hardy? Do you remember when he had a brief period where we could hear his thoughts?
I didn't. I think you mentioned it before.
I just vividly remember him going in his head as he's walking out he's describing people as he walks by, I think, and he's like, Kurt Angle is a machine, and it's in his own head, and you could hear his thoughts. It was amazing.
His songs, it's just
and I just felt like that was his idea. He thought
stupid. I think he did his own theme too, right?
Oh yeah, this is gonna be so cool.
There's his Immortal belt too.
Yes, exactly.
Jeff Hardy belt. Oh my god.
So it's TNA now. It's FNS reviews TNA.
But let's not.
Wimpy Kid TNA. It's a packed episode.
And Control Your Narrative.
And NWA a little.
Yeah.
Sorry.
NWA TNA, back at it.
Always digressions.
Yeah, so he introduced himself to Lashley because he got interrupted last week. He said he knows Shelton missed because of travel issues, so there you go. He told Lashley that having him work with the Hurt Syndicate is good business. He said everybody knows that, and even he insulted the fans saying they know it too. Lashley may not want him, but he needs him. Lashley said out of respect for MVP, he's not going to drop MJF right now. He said he doesn't like him or trust him, and they don't need him. He said unless he proves otherwise, he needs to leave. And so MJF said maybe he will, and then he leaves.
He does leave.
And then Learning Tree come out because
they're
going to wrestle.
Yeah, and I liked how Hurt Syndicate were kind of dismissive of them because they want Learning Tree want them to sit and watch, and they're just kind of like,
nah. No. They did watch. They were just sitting there,
though. I thought MJF and Lashley are awesome in the role, and I like in a company, or I guess maybe a industry, where there's so much fighting of people that they find a way, like Lashley's like, out of respect for MVP, I'm not going to. So it's like they can just exist without physicality.
And without one of those no physicality clauses.
Yeah, and MJF runs his mouth. Lashley's like straightforward and menacing, and I thought it was good.
Lashley's not great on the mic, so they kind of protected him here.
Right. I still don't know where this is going exactly. But good performances.
Like they have to join, but it doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know.
I don't want him to, so I'm like,
and to me it's weird
trying to find a way he doesn't.
Also doesn't seem like the type to be willing to have to prove himself to a group. Like he should think he's above that, and I also think he probably is.
And there should be zero tension between any of the existing Hurt Syndicate.
I don't think there is.
So,
because I think they're doing business. So
I guess so.
You know what I mean? That's why Lashley's saying prove yourself, and if it's good business, it's good business kind of thing, right?
They should grab AR Fox for you so that he gets he can be their guy. High flyer guy.
Yeah, AR Fox and Hobbs.
There you go.
Yeah, I love AR Fox though. I've been really liking it. I'll talk about it later, but Blake Christian's catching my eye. For sure.
He definitely is. I could tell when you were watching. He's one of those cats that just kind of moves a little bit different.
And I appreciate that. Much
if
like
he had
AR Fox.
some charisma.
I don't know. I feel like he's kind of shown it a bit. Like he's
because at first you're like Blake Christian a heel, okay, because everything he does is crazy.
But like I feel like it's pretty basic heel stuff like we've seen, but that's also kind of how Ricochet's been starting.
I was just gonna say, listen, if Ricochet can be a good heel, there's hope for everybody.
Now teaming with Lee Johnson's maybe not what you want to do, but
strap the rocket to him.
I'll talk about it later. I can't get by Lee Johnson. He's just so boring.
You've never been on board. He is pretty.
He's one of those guys where I'm like, how do you still have a job? And I mean that in the nicest
not
way.
the right word, but just not memorable.
Generic's not
terrible. Yeah,
and I don't really want to like him. I don't need him to succeed either because he's a Cody boy. Because wasn't he in the Nightmare crap?
Oh, the Nightmare Collective?
No, that was Brandy. The Nightmare Factory. Yeah. That's what you're thinking of, yeah.
No, that was Brandy, that's right.
Or the Nightmare Family or whatever. Because remember the Factory was QT's stupid offshoot with Solo and Ogogo and Kamarado.
Yeah.
Gut punch.
Learning
Tree squashed some dudes. Big
Bill. Kamarado was humongous.
He's like a burly dude.
Sorry. I was like, who again? Oh, yeah, he was huge.
Yeah. There was that one match where I think Dustin Rhodes beat him with the Bulldog.
He was nice.
Yeah. Big Bill absolutely chucks the one guy at the feet of the Syndicate guys. He throws a guy in the knee from Keith and a big old chokeslam for the win. Bill says they whoop Top Flight's ass, whoop the jobbers, they'll whoop them. They want a title shot. Thumbs up from Lashley.
That's right. All of that happened. I don't know. It was just a squash to impress the Hurt Syndicate, and we got exactly what we knew we were going to get anyways.
Yep, it was fine.
At least it was quick, right?
Yeah, it didn't waste my time.
No.
Then we get Mercedes Moné interview. She talks about her match with Julia and the tourney, saying it'll take more than tricks and spells to stop the Moné train. Harley Cameron walks in with the puppet because they're teaming in a tournament.
The puppet was Moné's idea.
Cameron did like her impression or whatever. She said they're a dream team. Moné told her to stay out of her way. Cameron said gave them some team name. It was the usual Moné shtick, but at least we got
the team name was.
It was Moné Wrath Train or something. It was something convoluted, intentionally. It was the usual shtick from Moné, but it was more enjoyable with Harley. I like seeing it.
I thought she was overdoing it a bit here. I don't know. I didn't think it was her best work.
It wasn't, but it's
hard to follow that rap she did, man.
Yeah. You can't do that always.
Amazing.
Right?
No.
But the ventriloquism thing is still cool.
Yep. She's talented.
Yeah. Then we get Ospreay and Kevin Knight against Blake Christian and Lee Johnson. I never expect to see Big Shotty back on Dynamite, but
why are you giving him last billing like that?
Because he's least important.
Or is he the main event?
Main event Lee Johnson.
That's it.
I mean, to the same effect.
Speaking of which, main event Jey Uso not in the main event as he wins the title. Okay, does that make Punk being in the main event worth it if you know he took Jey Uso's
That's
spot?
what I was saying last week was
a decent trade-off.
That's what I said was I'm not thrilled about Punk getting in there, but the silver lining is the guy named main event is not there. That's
on
fine.
WrestleMania, and he's winning the world title.
The one time I argue he should be the main event.
But he's not.
Or not should be, because I don't think he ever should be, but logically, you know what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
The one time it's most warranted of all the times.
And it used to be you win the Royal Rumble, you're in the main event at WrestleMania too.
Yeah. They haven't always followed that, right?
No.
Because there's always been 2 world titles, so sometimes the other world title main events or something like that, or Cena and Rock main event or something. But the thing I think is weird is that neither Rumble winners main eventing. Because
that's right.
You have, for example, we'll take 39 because we like that. The one main event was the tag titles with the Usos and then Zayn and Owens. So that's obviously not a Rumble winner. But then Cody won the Rumble. He main event with Roman the next night, right? Same thing last year. We had Rock and Roman and Cody and Rollins. I guess the Rumble winner did main event because Cody was in that, but it's not the title match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then Cody main event the next night, so it's fine. It's just weird because now neither is main eventing, right? But then you look back, I think it was 37. I think you had both Rumble winners main eventing because Edge won and he was in the triple threat with Roman and Bryan, and then Belair won and she main evented with Moné. So I don't know. It is interesting. I think it's because they always say it's main event or WrestleMania because it sounds cooler, but it's not always guaranteed.
Right.
It's interesting that neither of them are main eventing.
They're just adding hype to it in the moment, and whether they follow through or not.
Because the builds are not very interesting.
No, it's not the best.
I did see Stratton made reference to Charlotte's divorce.
Ooh.
apparently Charlotte was like super upset with people finding out about the divorce because she's like worried she'll be like her father.
I mean,
I think it's her third divorce already.
on the way.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
I don't know. I saw Cargill and Naomi got a Mania match.
Oh yeah,
first singles non-title women's match. I think is what I saw.
Cargill on Mania in a singles match.
Hopefully Naomi.
That's
can carry
aggressive. Her. She's gonna have to, and I don't think Naomi's like she's good.
I don't think the world of her.
I don't either.
Anyways, Knight hits a crazy standing frog splash from to Christian for 2. Like his vertical is crazy. It's him,
Javon,
Dante. Yeah, Javon, and then I would probably say Leon Slater. I think it is, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's nuts too.
Yeah. I just saw him do the Swanton 450 through a table toe. I think
it's crazy.
I think JDC.
Yeah, good.
It's a pretty crazy move. Him and the Ultimate X makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be booking him in X Division.
Yeah, the Swanton 450 is. Picture it if you haven't seen it. It's cool.
It's like if Jeff Hardy's thing was better.
Yeah.
Johnson trips Knight as he runs the ropes. Christian comes in real quick with like a roll through basement roundhouse. Then he does that apron spear to Ospreay where he lands back in the ring. It's
cool. It's just different,
so cool.
right? It's
I
just
like that.
Fresh take.
It's just cool.
Fresh take on a move that everybody does.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
And it's like he can take it Ospreay, get back in, and then go back after.
Functional
Knight, right?
too.
Ospreay hot tag flurry. Johnson trips him off the apron, and Christian hits that corkscrew suicide dive, which, like, the margin for error is so minimal, and the guys to catch him really well. But like,
it's one of the cooler moves to watch right now.
It just subverts expectations.
And he landed on his feet on this one.
Yeah, like it's just so cool. And he does a 450 double foot stomp, like if Finn Balor's move had a baby with Leon Slater's move.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like it's
kind of like that.
It's so cool. I want to say that was his finisher in when he was Trey Baxter in NXT.
I think you're right, but did he finish anyone?
I think he won at least a match in the breakout
sample
tournament.
Size.
Like, 'cause I remember seeing it.
Yeah. He's cool.
So like, yeah, really cool. Then he hits an Enziguri and Johnson tries something, but Ospreay hits a Stundog Millionaire. Hot tag flurry for Knight. He puts Johnson on Christian's shoulders, jumps up from the mat to drop kick Johnson off Christian's shoulders into a poison rata.
Like whatever that 9-10 feet high. No problem.
Crazy. He got the one with a big springboard layer, which is kind of anticlimactic.
I really was like, this guy, I've seen what this guy can do, and he's winning with I
don't know what his finisher is, though, to be fair.
I don't either. But kind of a really fun, meaningless match, right? Between a bunch of super athletes. And I thought.
And Lee Johnson.
I think you would agree. I thought Blake Christian really stood out here.
I agree. I think he's really cool.
Yeah.
And I like,
and
even though he's not
gave
going
him
to
a
win
lot
much,
too,
I
right?
like seeing him.
Yeah.
Here and there.
No, he's fun, and
since he's not super high rate, I think he'd be cool to hold the ROH TV title since it doesn't mean much, but it would be something for him to do on there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just being held by Commander. So I'd give him something like that because I don't know if he'll ever be big status enough to get AEW gold, but I like seeing him here and there. If he had a cooler tag partner, I'd like him in the tag division. But
me too.
I don't need to see Big Shotty.
I agree, and they don't care about tag teams anyways. You still won't see them for months on end. So
yeah,
but yeah, cool little match in the middle of the show.
Yeah, it just kind of heats up Knight and Ospreay for their match later, which Shivani did announce us on Dynasty, so we'll talk about it later. Ospreay put in another good shift. Knight got to look great too. Shows off what makes him unique. And I don't know how many people who watch Dynamite have seen him because I haven't seen him much. I've seen a bit of his work in New Japan, and then we watched him on the MLP show, the first one. But other than that, I don't think I've seen a lot of him.
And not only is he getting a match on a pay-per-view, it's with a guy that will give him a ton.
Yeah.
Right? Ospreay will make this kid look good.
Yeah, especially because Ospreay's winning, so he'll give him his flowers.
He will, for sure he will. And that is cool to be able to say, right? That you're arguably with Tony Storm, one of your biggest stars, is willing to put over some
I'd say you're up and coming main guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good. I think Blake Christian showed out again, like you were saying. Same moves that wabbed me last week and the crazy 450 stomp. I think he's really cool right now. I don't remember catching much of his work before, during, or after NXT. So
I've seen him a ton.
I feel like I've seen him, but never in a way where I really cared.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's been pretty cool. I think his heel work is solid.
It's way better than I expected.
he's got some swagger to him, and he's good being a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
So it's at least interesting, right? And then his offense is really cool and innovative. Like, it's only been like the last 2 weeks I've seen him really, but he's impressed me.
It's like Swerve and AR Fox, right? The different movement and just moves that you're like, oh, you're doing that on top of that, or
it's just like, where do you come up with this
yeah,
stuff?
it's cool.
And I love that. Never been big on Big Shotty. He's pretty run of the mill to me, and I don't know how he's still around above jobber status.
Yeah,
he was fine, I guess. He was kind of terrible. I'd like to see more of Blake though, for sure.
He's cool.
Ospreay versus Knight has a clear winner, which should be crazy. I'd add Takeshita and Brody on the card, but I think we got Fletcher and Briscoe instead. Quick promo from the Ops. Joe talks about forming the faction, saying the nature of warfare was changing, so he needed to change with it with a different arsenal. And he'd like to expand their influence in AEW, so they'll be watching at Dynasty, and you better not get caught lacking.
At least I like that Joe tried to explain like where this group comes from, you know, like just kind of like I came back and realized I needed a faction, so
yeah, I liked it. It makes sense, especially with all the factions here. So, like, I liked it.
They're giving us some reason these guys are together, and
always Joe's great. So I think like it's a solid explanation. Joe's
always great to hear Joe, even if it's just for like a minute like this.
I saw he was just on Van Vliet.
Oh yeah.
I think
I might actually check that out.
I think I would. I will at some point because I like checking out the good ones.
I love Joe.
I watch whenever Ospreay's on because I watched his recent one and the one a couple years back. But because Ospreay seems like a great dude. But yeah, Joe. I remember he did say one thing on there. I've seen it like that he's talking about retiring soon. I
know that sucks.
It sucks, but like he's had a great run.
Yeah, honestly.
Just even in AEW alone, but just in general, the amount of things he's done.
His ROH time was
even in TNA.
Incredible, yes. Amazing in TNA too.
WWE less so. We'll say NXT at least.
Underused in WWE.
Yeah. Oh, this is solid though. Then we get a Haas fight. It's Brody King and Lance Archer. No countdown for Archer's theme anymore. Like, you know, it does like the countdown you would throw a guy out of the tunnel.
How would you know? Oh yeah. That was cool.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. King gets a crossbody against the barricade. German suplex. Rolling elbow and a running crossbody. Archer with his own running crossbody. King hits a boot. Archer with the black hole slam for 2. Corner lariat by King. Cannonball and a short lariat for 2. And another lariat for the win. Because nothing is ever fun anymore.
I know. Couldn't even give it to us in a win.
Nope.
You give Brody King a win and you don't give us.
It's appalling.
It's crazy. But
I don't even want to talk about it.
Fine big man match, right? We knew the outcome here, I think, because you got one guy going into a tournament and another guy who doesn't really win, not. But yeah, Gonzo bomb is pretty cruel.
That's crazy.
But maybe he can't hit it on Archer?
Yeah.
He probably can.
You don't know.
He probably can.
You don't know until you do it.
And obviously Brody's losing to Takeshita in the Owen, I would assume.
King Takeshita, baby.
Gives him some momentum to get stalled later.
So that he can get his butt beat by the real star.
Probably.
Real star Takeshita. Then we get Copeland versus Claudio in our main event match, I guess.
Yep.
I was saying Copeland looks like Angelico.
He really did.
Yeah.
And you would have been happier if it were. That's the crazy part. We would have been happier if they're like, it's Angelico. You're like, yes! And everyone in there that paid to see Copeland would be mad, but we'd be happy. Because Angelico is the truth.
The smile on my face at the wild card is Angelico.
Imagine. Angelico is sick.
And I'm not even joking, too. Anytime I bring that up, too, I'm more than happy to see Angelico.
Angelico is sick. Everyone should appreciate Angelico.
Crazy.
Angelico. My bad.
Not.
Apologize.
No.
Angelico.
No. It's not. It's not.
It just can't be. Even if he says it is, it's still not.
It's never been that, and it will never be that. I mean, also for the wild card, I feel like we could always throw in a good old Tyler Rust there.
There you go. It's been a while since you mentioned him.
I don't know what happened to him. I don't know where he went.
I don't either.
I haven't seen him since the Pure tournament. Not the Pure tournament, but he was around back then.
What's his name go by now?
You can probably search Tyler Rust or Russ Taylor.
There you go. Okay, oh look, you keep going.
Ryan Taylor.
Yes, that's when I saw him in Championship Wrestling a whole bunch.
Yeah, I'll never forget that Massive Ciampa that we saw, because that was like, you want to talk about the Blake Christian thing, but that's like one of those matches where it's just like caught my eye, you know.
Yep.
I love
that. Was a very good TV match.
That was so great. His theme song's a banger and a half too. Like, it's one of those times where some random guy gets a theme that does not deserve to be that good. Like the theme song for going back to Angelico, because he had that group with Luther and Serpentico.
Oh, yeah.
Their theme's kind of a banger. They don't really use it anymore. I've literally never seen it used in a show.
This is saying on the indies with promotions like New Japan Primetime Wrestling, known for his tag team, The Horde.
Maybe a while back, but like, there's no, unless you gotta check like his cage match, because then it would be like,
True.
because so let me see his cage match. Yeah, his last match was 2022.
So he's not doing anything?
Yeah. He teamed with Kushida and Roppongi Vice to lose to Bullet Club, which was, to give you an idea about how old it is, this is when Hikuleo and Jay White and Juice Robinson were still there.
Tala Tonga.
I'm waiting for Tala Tonga, all right? Like, aren't
we all?
Wait, he had a match on Dark and on Rampage?
Gonna go find it?
He teamed with John Cruz.
That's Serpentico.
Duh. Why was I thinking of who's the guy from the Great Hands? Jason
Skyler.
Hunt. Yeah, John Skyler. Why was I thinking of him? That's
Sure.
weird.
Because you don't know wrestling.
That's weird. Yeah, he's got a bunch of matches on ROH. And then, oh yeah, there's, okay, last one I'll mention here is the one I'm showing at NXT, he beat Dante Rios.
Dante Rios?
Yeah, that's Garcia.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. Anyways, and not Angelico and Claudio here. Claudio's tights have gone from all black to all black with a small logo on his right hip.
Angelico, from Copeland to Angelico to Tyler Rust and back.
Yeah.
Who else is doing that? Only us. Only us.
That's why you come here for the unique.
That's it.
The unique digressions.
It's on the bingo card. Both of those, Tyler Rust and Angelico, are on there.
Hey, if they cared about tag teams, they'd bring back TH2.
That's right. They were fun.
They were cool. They just never did anything. And then they got into the Hardy faction, and that was like your kiss of death.
I don't know how likable Jack Evans is.
I don't care.
I know.
Then they got, like, I think joining the Hardy family office was like, hey, your career's over.
Kiss of death.
I mean, he killed Private Party for like 2 years at least.
Right.
Anyways, Edge-O-Matic from Copeland for 2, which is like the reverse X Factor. It's a horrible move.
It's not great.
Stupid name too. Like,
forced.
Some of his names are funny. Like the Execution, I think, is kind of bad, but I think it's pretty funny.
It's pretty bad.
It's bad in a funny way though. And like he's got that submission, which I think is called I actually don't remember what it's called.
Don't know.
But it's like where he does a sharpshooter, but then he's like facing frontwards, so it like looks worse than a Rock sharpshooter.
Yeah.
Like it's
hard to
do.
a
horrible submission.
That is hard.
That's how bad it is. But like I honestly forget what it's called. Okay, when you're talking about it, I'm looking to look it up because I'm curious. Copeland's a spear through the ropes. Shout out to Big E, I guess, because he used to do that all the time. And we cheer for him every time.
We do.
Ironically, not how he broke his neck.
No, but like I would be nervous every time he did it. No Biggie. There's no reason to do that.
If he is lucky enough to wrestle again, which I hope he is, I hope he doesn't do that move. Just because I will be happy if he ever wrestles again.
Yeah.
Like,
me too.
I just want to see him back. I love him. And they should love him too.
They should.
Like, shouldn't take him that long to get the title, you know?
No.
I'm glad he did at least once.
It should not have.
And he lost it to Redacted too.
Did he? Oh, that's
Remember,
right.
it was day 1 and...
Wasn't it?
It was supposed
short?
It was a pretty short run.
Yeah.
It was like a few months.
No, the match.
Oh, I don't know. Because it was... So remember, it's supposed to be Big E and Rollins, but then Lashley gets added, Owens gets added. And then, so it was supposed to be Lesnar and Roman for the Universal title. Roman gets COVID, so he's done. But they promised Brock a title, so he gets added to that 5-way. And then, but he pins Big E, even though it's a 5-way. That's the thing that bothered me too, was he pinned Big E. And that's what led to the unification match.
This knowledge is taking up space in your head that something else could occupy.
Yeah. And Rollins was supposed to win the title at that show, and he would have gone to Mania as champion, like he should have. But then, because this all happened so then we got Lesnar and Lashley at the Rumble, and we get Roman and Rollins at the Rumble, which was that match we really liked with the DQ finish I really liked, which never went anywhere. All Rollins got in consolation was a spot in the Chamber match because Roman and Heyman cost Lesnar the title, right? So he lost it to Lashley, but then Lesnar won the Rumble later. Because remember, that was the really bad Rumble.
No, I don't remember any of this.
Where Shane McMahon went into business for himself.
Uh-huh.
where he came in and like he outboxed Matt Riddle and that
makes sense.
that stuff. And then they because they were gonna have Roman lose the title to Brock at day one, which would have disrupted the big long run he ended up having, and then he would have won it back at Mania.
Sure.
But then because they had this whole change of plans, that's what led to the unification match and Roman getting 2 belts. And so in theory, we were never supposed to have an undisputed title.
Okay.
All because COVID. But yeah, that's how we get from a completely different topic by talking about Big E. Because that's how I do.
Tangents.
Copeland ran for a dive. Claudio caught him with an uppercut. Avalanche Bulldog from Copeland, which is like the classic high-risk old man move, I feel like.
It's
like when Sting,
one of those safe.
It's like when Sting dives from a ledge every time, but it's like onto a pile of people.
You can call it high risk and it's safe.
It's or like Sting goes through a table, really soft or something like that. Copeland gets swung. Giant swing Jones.
Swanged?
Giant swang Jones.
Yeah.
Is that the word there?
Mm-hmm.
Claudio locks Copeland in the sharpshooter. He starts to crawl. Claudio switches to a crossface. Copeland eventually he counters into his own crossface. Claudio gets the ropes. Scoop power slam on the apron from Claudio. Copeland barely beats the count back in. Claudio smashes him with a lariat for 2, which is a decent near fall because that's like, I swear I think he beat Darby with that once. He has one with that exact method, like trying to get a count out, then just smushes your face with a lariat. Copeland gets caught with the pop-up uppercut, the very European uppercut for 2. Rope break on that one. Neutralizer for a near fall. Claudio brings in some chairs for concerto. Ref stops him. Low blow from Copeland. Spear. Win. Such a nice baby face.
It was good, but like
about as good as the Copeland match gets for me. Like
doesn't feel important.
I don't care.
It's a main event of your biggest show. Their main events are lacking sometimes.
I agree.
Raw consistently puts on a main event that matters, including this week, although the finish was kind of...
What was it again?
Was the the
tag
Belair reffing EO.
Oh, yeah.
And Ripley.
That's stupid. But
anyways, the match is good. It's just I don't get super interested in Copeland.
No, I just don't care. And it's
not like Claudio's
not a very good babyface if he's hitting him with a low blow, but I guess it's okay because Claudio tried to cheat first. Like, is that... I don't know. I guess that's the logic here.
Yeah, so fine, but I don't know. That didn't feel like a main event to me.
Yeah. I doubt Copeland FTR wins, so here's Copeland's token victory, I guess.
I think so.
Like, it's kind of that logic again.
I think so. He's not taking the pin, though.
I don't think so.
Well, he's like he could. He's like Malachi Black. He doesn't get pinned.
I feel like he could.
It's not going to work for me, brother.
That's what would really service the story, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Swerve backstage. He's looking for Mox. Renee tries to interview him. Nope. Hangman comes in behind him in the hallway. They are arguing. He says Swerve's wasting his time. He said he promised Swerve would never hold the title. Swerve tells him let it go. Hangman says, you broke into my house. Swerve said, you burned my house down. Hangman says, you deserve it. Swerve says, I know.
And we're like, what?
Yeah.
Like commanded my attention. Such a little thing.
And then Hangman's even just like, yeah. And then he walks away. Then Swerve's going down the hallway, gets beat up by Death Riders, gets sent into some glass thing. They take him up to the arena, beat him up in the ring, pour out some glass, powerbomb him on the glass, leave him in the glass. Swerve sits up in the glass. He laughs.
He like Undertaker's the glass.
He giggles and chuckles and laughs and whatnot. Talking about Swerve and Hangman first. I love these guys so much. It's so...
To me, that was the bigger bit than all of the glass.
100%.
Right? Like you went out of your way to like slam this guy on glass, and I'm more concerned about
like 2 words.
Yeah.
It's just, they're so amazingly complex and real, and it's just so great. They didn't really say much, and yet it says everything. Like just simply saying "I know" after that is just so huge.
And Hangman's reaction is
so
perfect.
Much. Yeah, the reaction is perfect. It further adds complexion to both their characters. Like Swerve admitting that is so ballsy, and you can tell it changes Hangman's perspective, and it changes our perspective on Swerve too, because like even though he turned face because he was so popular, he never really admitted any guilt or anything for breaking into the house or anything, and obviously Hangman was a heel when he burnt down the house, so we're not supposed to feel sympathy, but like we're supposed to emphasize with Swerve and not really consider, yeah, he had that coming, even though like I think we definitely said that, but like that's not really where the story's supposed to be. But it's so interesting And like the little interaction's so great, and like, I don't even know where that takes them after this. Like,
it
are they
shifted their whole relationship like on a dime. It just turned,
but
right?
like in a natural, in a logical way too. Like, if they're not enemies after this, it kind of makes sense, and they can always go back to being enemies. Is the thing.
And it's okay that they're both baby faces right now. It makes that all
right, because they're both baby faces, so you kind of have to have them coexist, and this is the perfect way to do that.
Yes.
It's just, it's like the nuance of it is great. I don't know where you go after this. And not even like not in the way with MJF where I'm like, what's the payoff? But like,
and I don't want it to get to the point where they're like a buddy tag team now or anything. Like, that's too far.
No, but like you could have this weird respect or something. Because they both did something messed up and like beat the tar out of each other and did violent things.
Yeah, they're bonded because they've been through war, basically.
Right?
But yeah, it was awesome.
It's just there's so much there.
And then more of the same from Death Riders beating someone up and being super violent. It's fine.
The beating at least was cooler because the glass was gnarly. Like, at least it was a pretty gnarly beatdown.
But it's tough to follow.
It doesn't add
Moxley
much. Yeah.
Last week.
It doesn't add much to the build. And then, yeah, it's tough to follow the spikes in his back the other week.
Yeah.
And also a great little piece of cinema with Swerve and Hangman.
It was. Good episode. I wasn't a huge fan of any of the matches.
Not as great if you're considering it to go home.
Right? Like, the opener was fun. None of them were awesome. So I think segment-wise, we had some good stuff going on, especially at the end. Just that little nugget was enough to make me pretty happy.
Yeah, that's just, there's so much to dissect there.
And the FTR stuff I'm kind of enjoying too.
I agree.
So
I wish we had gotten a little segment for the patriarchy stuff because I've been finding that pretty interesting too.
I'm going to go B- because I didn't love any matches.
Yeah. My favorite match is probably the tag match with Christian and Ospreay.
That was fun.
So that was pretty enjoyable.
If you went B, which I think you're going to, I wouldn't disagree.
No, I'll agree with the B-. I think you also have to consider the fact that it is a go home.
It is a go home.
And we need
that's
a bit
in
more
the calculus
from that, right?
for sure. Yep.
Especially because like I'm not really feeling Copeland and Claudio. The women's match is not worth anything. Like,
I know.
There's some misses here for sure, but like the tag match was really fun. FTR is pretty interesting. The mixed tag was actually pretty solid. And like the brackets for the Owen were a good announcement. That was pretty interesting. And Hangman Swerve, that's so great.
Yeah, that was an awesome way to end the show. All right, so now we'll move over into a little bit of a break from analysis, talk a little bit of trivia. It's what we call off the top of his head. So trivia this week, trying to be timely, someone you really like, someone who's out for injury. So I said, what are list and describe Jay White's 12 greatest matches in New Japan and AEW.
That's tricky because I don't know a lot of New Japan.
I know, so we'll see. I'll give you hints. So starting at number 12, they're saying AEW Rampage from October 13th.
Starks?
No.
I know he had a match with
somebody
Starks.
Who just debuted elsewhere.
Phoenix?
Yeah. That probably was really good. I don't know.
Probably.
AEW Dynamite, March 6, 2024. Two former New Japan stars collide.
Who would he have
Top tier
faced?
pacing and layered psychology. That sounds fair.
New Japan. I don't know.
Two former. Gaijin.
Not Ospreay.
No.
Who else was Gaijin there? Omega? No.
Close.
Hangman?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it was on Dynamite, though.
AEW Full Gear 2023.
Oh, MJF.
Correct. Okay. So
Remember, people like really didn't like that match, but we liked it.
I'm sure we did.
Because the one where MJF was like injured early in the show because the guns, and then he still beat Jay in the main event. But like, I liked that match.
I liked it too, if I remember. AEW Collision tag team. I'll give you that.
Was it the one with FTR?
It was.
Is it 2 or 3 falls or no?
That doesn't say 2 or 3 falls. No.
Because that match was awesome.
Yes, they were. So here's another one on Collision.
Is it FTR?
2023, not tag.
Oh. Starks.
Yeah, it was Starks. I was going to say, as you already guessed it. The New Beginning in Osaka 2019. Torch passing moment, to give you a big hint.
Okada.
No.
Tanahashi.
Yes. G1 Climax 30. Brutal contrast in styles. White's cunning versus this person's pure toughness. A violent chess match.
Ishii?
Yes.
Nice.
My boy. Wrestle Kingdom 15. Widely regarded as one of White's finest matches. A grueling 48-minute... Ibushi, correct.
Yeah, I've heard that one's pretty good. Or I think it's polarizing because some people don't like the big long ones.
Wrestle Kingdom 14 in 2020. Semi-final bout in the double title storyline.
Naito?
No.
Ibushi.
White's mind games versus this person's unwavering will. Emotionally heavy and technically crisp.
Goto?
No.
Ibushi.
2020.
Tanahashi?
No. You already guessed him earlier. Okada. Power Struggle 2020. Layered bout with top-tier storytelling. White stole this man's Wrestle Kingdom title shot contract.
In 2020?
Mm-hmm. You have guessed him already.
Who won the G1? Naito?
Yes. Good. G1 Climax 29 final, 2019.
He was in the final?
That's what he says.
Because I don't think there's been that many Gaijin in the final.
It's
Who? Ibushi?
Yeah, good. I was going to say someone that's already come up. And number 1, Wrestle Kingdom 13.
Okada?
Yeah.
I think we watched that.
Did we?
Yeah, because I remember we watched him and he was in the final. I remember we watched that back when I would watch a random match every week.
Oh, right. I forgot we did that. All right. You did pretty well in the trivia considering you're not a New Japan guy. But I thought it gave actually good hints this week, which is nice. All right. Well, we'll go back to wrestling, fly through some Raw and NXT, and maybe a bit of SmackDown because it happened. And I think there was a notable you mentioned. So we'll get there. It's Highspots and Restholds. Starting with Raw, did you say you didn't see the Cena Cody opener segment?
I saw bits of it, but I never actually got to check it out. I think the only one I actually watched was the first one because I really liked that.
I really liked it, and I actually thought Cody was good. Not when he started, he was annoying.
Heel Cena's just, I love it.
He, because Cody came out trying to do the whole what are you gonna say? I have a lisp. I have a tattoo that should be on my arm, on my neck. Trying to take away all the stuff from Cena. And then,
which I mean, valid.
And then Cena basically jumped into my mind and said what I would say to him. It's the people see through you. You're too phony. You're too polished and whatever. And you're just a generic mix of every superstar makes him, he said, a generic mix of every superstar he's ever loved, and it makes him look like a 16-year-old taking acting classes who is still afraid of public speaking. And then he also said something about you're wearing your gimmick on, you got your gimmick tattooed on your neck.
Pretty much, yeah, because that's like his whole logo and crap.
So then when Cody fires back, I thought he was a lot better. He says the fans chose Cody, but Cena was chosen by one guy in an office who he can't talk about. So that was kind of funny. And he said Cena created disenfranchised fans, and that led to Cody leaving. Cena shouldn't act like he left the business better than before he was in it. And Cody said between the two of them, which one sold out to The Rock. So the line about Redacted choosing him was like a big, everyone went bananas.
Saw they mentioned him and AEW. They mentioned AEW a lot this past week,
do.
I think.
Like there's references to it, not so much mentioning it specifically, obviously. But Cena said that he makes empires for billionaires while Cody steals money from their kids. And then we get an eventual crossroads. Cody points at the sign. So good sign for Cena winning there, I think. Notable, who's back to take a loss? Who's reformed?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So dumb. Welcome back, the New Catch Republic. Yay.
And you're going to face New Day, and you're going to
lose in your hometown.
And who took the pin?
Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne did, of course. So New Day.
It's so dumb, though, because,
match was good.
I was telling you, it's like the whole MJF Cole thing. It's like we're going to ignore that Pete Dunne renounced New Catch
That's right.
in a vignette on NXT. We're going to ignore that he's been a heel for the ensuing months.
Yep. They're just back together, but Tyler Bate got a haircut, so everything's fine.
Tyler Bate looks like he's in 2017 again, so he's looking good, but just further strips Pete Dunne of being him again, puts him back down the pecking order as if he was even up.
In a division they don't care about.
Yeah. I have New Catch teaming in my New Universe mode, but that's just because I'm going to split them up.
New Day are interviewed on their way out. They want a title match because War Raiders told them to go out and beat somebody, and now they have. War Raiders come out,
Wow, they beat a team that hasn't wrestled in months. Woo!
War Raiders stare down, and New Day leaves. So, really too bad that Big E, that moment where they turned on Big E, has been this so far.
Squandered.
Really, really squandered is right.
Because that's one of the greatest tag breakups I think we'll ever see.
And they were running the risk of Cena that too. Like, his turn was amazing, but then it's like no mention of anything that really happened that night.
Yeah.
So interesting how they get moments that are amazing and they're not really great at following up.
Yeah, Triple H doesn't seem to be able to do that sometimes.
Yeah. Gunther beat Jimmy Uso in a match. A little bit of competitiveness from Jimmy, but a lot of domination from
Jimmy's
Gunther.
actually the one who can do things.
And then Jay gets zip-tied to the corner after the match, and Gunther beats the living hell out of Jimmy Uso and ends up with Jimmy Uso's blood all over him, which was a sweet image. And that's what I wanted. Like, Jimmy should be taking an absolute beating here, and he did. And the visual of Jay having to watch it was good. So, I mean, I think we all think Jimmy's winning, but at least Gunther looks dangerous here.
Yeah, at least it makes him look good.
He looked crazy with all the blood all over him. So that was cool. Judgment Day beat Penta and Braun, right? Miscommunication, accidental Braun spear to Penta, and then coup de grace, because I think Penta got taken out. Coup de grace to Braun, I think it was. Oh, no, it was
without
to
a
Penta.
450 on there.
It was to Penta because it's the first time he's been pinned.
Right.
Crowd was pretty into it, but it was like, so Judgment, I think that's the point, is it puts Judgment Day on the same page again because they're hugging after the win. And then I think both of them are going to be going in the Intercontinental, right? So, and then we'll go back to there's going to be problems, I assume, between them. Gable, I don't remember what else he said, but he was talking to Pierce backstage, and he's like praising him for signing Americano, and then is like, I would love to face him in the ring, which I thought was funny. And then it was something about, I think they're wrestling in Gable's hometown, but he's still sick, so ha ha ha, you can't wrestle. Doctor's note. I don't know, it was lame. Styles and Paul had an in-ring conversation, and it was what you would expect. The only thing cool is the pulverizer is dope. And because AJ's so graceful,
yeah,
it really looked clean.
I've seen the clip of it a bunch of times. It's really nice.
It's super clean. And Paul, again, like...
I like that he's got an actual finisher now, too.
I don't know, he can't hit it on everybody, though.
No, but that's when you can do, like, the brass knuckles punch
True.
or do a frog splash or something.
Yeah, because it does look awesome. Anyways,
it's really cool.
He was a douchebag. AJ's a baby face. It was what you'd expect. Main event ended. Did you hear how it finished?
No.
Double DQ.
Oh, right. No, I did hear, yeah.
So EO retains. Belair basically got shoved and punched and yelled at, and then ended up taking a EO missile drop kick. So I think because Rhea pulled her. Anyways, so Belair's fed up and is basically calls for the match to be done. Starting to like be a decent match, and then it's just over, and it's just to give us what we knew we were getting anyways. But I guess whatever, it's a fine way to get there. So we are going to get the
like
triple threat.
Trying to save the contract thing they did.
Yes, which was at least they admitted like, no, you can't just sign a contract and be in a match. You have to find
I guess
another
so.
way.
They kind of go back on it.
NXT, it's Ava and Stephanie Vaquer to start, and you weren't happy about this, so you can.
It's so dumb because they did the exact same thing with Keith Lee too. They have him win both belts in a double title match, defend them both once, except he did in one match.
Yeah,
she didn't too. Whatever. Defend both titles once as a double champion.
Yep.
Vacate the mid-card belt.
Yep. So she agrees to vacate it only if she gets to pick her opponent for the NXT title, and Ava agrees.
Then why have her win 2 titles?
And did you hear what it sets up, obviously?
Ladder match.
6-woman ladder match for Stand and Deliver. Should be fun. Give some people an opportunity.
The second ladder match in this belt's existence, and it's been less than a year.
Right. Vaquer is really over with that crowd, and her English seems to be getting better every week. And she's awesome in the ring. Some of her move choices for her signature stuff I'm not a fan of, but she's fun to watch in the ring. She's really good. Jordan Grace comes out and says now that since Jada Parker's out of the picture, because remember, she distracted last week and Parker lost to Vaquer. So Jordan says now that she's out of the picture, we can get the match everyone wants. The Juggernaut versus La Primera. Jada comes out to a really good reaction from the crowd. They're doing the Miss Parker thing. It sounded awesome. She said she's not out of the picture, and if Jordan had stayed on the ground where Jada left her, she'd have beaten Stephanie and would be the NXT women's, would have the title around her waist. Jordan Grace interrupts and says Jada fumbled her chance. And then I told you I was laughing because Jada just kind of not at full volume into the mic right after goes, she got no manners. And it was just awesome. She's so good. Grace says Jada may not understand how titles work since she's never won one, but it's time to go back to the back of the line. Vaccair's like, oh, clearly you guys need to work things out. And then they brawl and security come out. So I imagine we're getting like a whoever wins gets a shot at me, which is going to be Jordan Grace, which is fine. Good opening segment.
Does she lose already, I guess?
What's that?
Does Grace lose already?
Good question.
Like,
what do? Or does Parker cheat to win and face Vaccair again?
I guess, but
we hold off on Grace?
Grace still loses, though.
But I didn't like the Parker Vaccair one very much. But anyways, women's locker rooms watching Vaccair's announcement. Ariana Grace doesn't like it. Everyone else does. And you've got Henley, Cora Jade. Lola is in like a skin-tight, almost see-through cat suit this week. They're happy that this 6th person is happening. Zarya defeated Lash Legend in a solid, not great match. She qualifies for the North American ladder match. Really long, 12 minutes. Zarya won with a spear and an F5. There was, I told you, they had a bit of an overhand chop exchange, and one of the ones Lash hit on her was insane. They tried to do a dual kip up spot, but Zarya's was not clean at all. I think the jury's out for me on Zarya. She looks super cool and hits some big power stuff, but the overall, I haven't really been impressed.
That's interesting because she's like an indie one, not one of the
in singles
NIL
matches.
People that
I haven't loved her.
You know,
I know. So I don't know. I hopefully see an awesome match, and I'm like, okay, she's solid. We're fine. So Tony D'Angelo wanted to know everything about Dark State right after they attacked last week. So he's sitting down in the warehouse or whatever with the family to find out what they learned. Luca talks about Dion, Lennox?
Yeah.
Saying he acted like a bookworm but fooled everyone. Talks about his football career and saying
does he even actually wear glasses?
He has a short temper. What's that?
If he doesn't read books, does he even actually wear glasses?
It's all a ruse now. Oh, Cyrus Griffin is 6'3", 280, a former defensive lineman.
Name.
He's brash, but has great instincts for his opponent's next move. Sure. Rizzo then talks about Cutler, who is a wrestler from Duke, academic All-American who likes breaking guys' will and spirit, history of Spartan races. Saquon Sugars is the wild card with a degree from the pavement, who turned down an offer from Harvard. Smooth talker and a charmer who gets people to think they're best friends before moving on.
So they're saying a bunch of generic shit about who each person is. That's very much the Shield.
Yeah, exactly. Tony points out that Stack's last plan failed. Stax needs to trust Tony. And sees Tony's going to go review all this information he has. So I thought it's somewhat of a clever way to give us information on these guys, but it is very here's his stats, bro.
Yeah.
So I kind of like the idea, but the information wasn't super helpful, but feels like Stax is, you said so too, definitely something's brewing with him in the family.
That's the theory, right? It's either, it could be him or Trick.
The Trick one kind of got blown up, no?
What do you mean?
Well, they attacked him this week.
Oh. I mean, Aces and Eights beat up
That idea, right? Oh my God, Aces and Eights was amazing. So bad. So anyways, Hank and Tank, you said you saw this. They're interacted with Pretty Deadly because their angle right now, their story right now is that Hank and Tank are getting advice from veteran tag teams, right? And so the advice from Pretty Deadly was to wear the same ring gear, which they did have on for a little bit. It looked kind of funny. Yeah, Elton said they need to look like stars. So, and No Quarter Catch crew walk by, and they say that Hank and Tank are about to get their asses kicked. And then so Hank and Tank ditch the gear, and Pretty Deadly are supportive. And I told you I miss Pretty Deadly.
Yeah.
They're amusing, man. Fun. And
yeah, we were talking about it.
Good enough in the ring.
Good enough in the ring, but good characters, so they should be used more.
I agree.
But they're too good at comedy.
They're fun, man.
So
and we hated them at first. when we were doing NXT UK, and they were still growing into the gimmick.
Yeah,
right?
they've definitely grown into it. That's the thing.
And they're really good. The culling, we get them. Nico says Spears saw the meaning in his purpose, and he found Jensen. They're all like saying how amazing everything is and how happy they all are together. Spears says they're aware of how much he cherishes them, and he'll use those traits to vanquish Ricky Saints. I enjoy Spears in this role. I think he sounds really comfortable. I kind of like the makeup of the group because they're very different, all of them. And like a solid mid-card heel faction. You know what I mean? But, so at this point, I'm thinking, they're a new group. We're selling how cohesive they are and how the leader has a belt. So I'm at this point in the show going like, maybe he finds a way to retain.
Foolish.
Because, anyways, we'll get there. So no quarter catch crew do beat Hank and Tank in about 6 minutes. Hank and Tank went for the spilled milk, which is Pretty Deadly's move, and they kind of took too long. You know how that Pretty Deadly are like demonstrative and whatnot. So that cost them. They got hit with the no quarter catch crew finisher. Fun while it lasted, fast pace. I think Tank has a really good hot tag, and Hank is in way better shape than when he debuted. I think there's something there with them that people will get behind.
They could be that new heavy machinery type.
I kind of think that's right.
Which is a decent spot.
And then so their story continues, right? The veteran tag team Vice failed them again, and I wonder what the payoff is, but we'll see. Trick's in the ring to talk. He says even if Oba is champion, Trick's the man around here. He fought for this, sacrifice, lost a brother. That'll get referenced again later. He did all this to become the Trick Williams show. He feels the hate in the back. They don't want him to shine or get to the top. Javon comes out, says he understands Trick now. He asked Trick when he knew it was his time. Javon understands what spot Trick is in because last year Trick was Javon. Trick became NXT's golden child, and just like Trick, Javon wants the number 1 spot. The difference is he doesn't need to break out of somebody's shadow to get that spot. So there's lots of Mellow references here and directly coming up. Trick says Javon.
I think him and Miz are a team now too, like actually.
Oh, great.
Mellow to Miz.
That's right.
They're awesome.
Oh, yes. Both of those are great.
I love it. I think it's hilarious.
Trick says Javon is in his shadow right now. What does Javon know about having the title on his back or becoming a champion? Winning the title is great, but carrying it is something else, and Trick knows how to do it. Javon says Trick doesn't know who the hell he is. He's not Trick Williams. He's Carmelo Hayes. And man, the crowd acted like this was like fighting words, like awful stuff. Makes sense because everything he's saying now is what Mello did, and that makes him a hypocrite. Javon says he's done something no one has done and drop Oba Femi. Oba tells Javon to say it to his face, that it was a lucky shot and never again because Oba comes out. Javon says not to play with him and asks if everyone remembers Deadline. He only needed a second to change history. He'll drop Oba again in Vegas and become champion. Trick starts, but Oba tells Trick to shut up because the champion is speaking. Javon may be the future, but he lives in the present and now belongs to Oba Femi. He has some good lines and delivers them well. Trick says that's what he's talking about. Stand and deliver Trick versus Oba. So Javon can excuse himself, like dismissive of the young Javon. Oba says if Trick spent less time talking, he'd be champion now, but he's not. So Ava's had enough. She comes out, and guess what? Triple threat, obviously, right? Dark State are looming. They come out this time because they've just been sort of lingering around this scene, but this time they come down, take out Oba and Javon. And then I'm thinking, oh, maybe it is Trick because they're not touching Trick. They get Trick and they shield bomb him.
Fake beatdown.
Maybe. I mean, I don't think so, but I kind of like the dynamic between Evans, Femi, and Trick. I like it, and I like that it's 3 black guys at the top, right, in the main event, which is pretty cool. So I guess Trick's not with Dark State, probably, most likely.
I guess not.
And next week, I think it's next week. Any 3 of Dark State will face Femi, Evans, and Trick.
I hate that name.
Can they coexist?
I hate the name.
Dark State?
So dumb.
Fraxium, Hank and Tank interact backstage. Fraser's kind of teasing them for losing. Axiom tells him it's rude. Something along the lines of, he ends up saying he wishes they had a friendship like Hank and Tank do. Hank and Tank leave. Swipe Right come in. which I told you I think is a cool name for the characters they're playing.
Like F-Boys kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah. And they consider Fraxium their Hardys, and they're going to have a match next week. And they're kind of young and douchey, like really young looking, man.
I think they're off the LFG show.
They are. Made me feel really old. And they're in Evolve. Kalani beat Perez with a clean DDT, with DDT and her split-legged moonsault after 15 minutes. This got more than the main event. Thought it was one of Kalani's better matches. Other than I told you, like, she did not sell her arm. And Roxanne hit one thing where her arm is over the bottom, and she's seated in the corner, her arm's over the bottom rope and turnbuckle, and Roxanne stomps it, and it looked great, and there's just no attempt to even act like you're in pain, and then using it to, like, do all kinds of stuff. So, other than that, though, I will say it was a good match. Perez is, like, putting people over on the way out, and Kalani gets
I thought she was already out.
I thought so, too. So Kalani gets a quality win and momentum. Momentum. That's what you want. If you can't have a championship, have momentum. I was wrong. Ricky Saints beats Spears in a 10-minute main event, wins the North American title. Good near fall after, I think it's Nico distraction, Dame hands the belt shot. I thought, there you go. He's going to retain. They found a way. Nope. Saints kicks out. We do get a good-looking Rochambeau for the win. I thought it's the best Saints' look. Not that he's done a lot, but I actually kind of enjoyed this match. But, like, again, in the dictionary, beside transitional champion should now be Spears, because there's no, like, this is one of the biggest ones ever.
Yeah, in recent memory at least.
The most glaring. So where does his group go now? I don't. Maybe they're so cohesive and together this doesn't matter. I don't know. It's just weird. You went out of your way to put a package together about how unified they are, but anyways. So that was NXT. Anything you got from SmackDown? No, nothing. Didn't you say something in between?
Yeah,
segments?
but I was just talking about that.
What was it?
Heyman.
Oh, right. Heyman's really good. Bottom line. Okay, so the last thing we're gonna do, right? And I think we'll just tack it on now because you look like you're gonna fall asleep. We'll talk about our AE Dynasty preview. And
whoa! You said AE Dynasty.
Oh,
you did the thing.
No, but it's different.
No, it's the same.
So I need to add another match on there.
Same
so
first 3 syllables.
Explain how certainty score and all that works.
So we got 10 matches. So we'll, based on how certain you are on the result, we'll give it a number from 1 to 10.
And then we'll keep track of those scores when we review it, which we never do, but we'll try.
We did last time.
We did.
Because
and I won because I'm awesome.
It was a lot closer than I thought, though.
Sorry, Briscoe versus Fletcher.
But yeah, okay.
So that does kind of shift things, but
yeah, I mean, depending on how you did, I guess you could just give it that. No, because you.
Can't. Oh, I can do that. I'll do that. That's easy, and then it doesn't really shift things.
Yeah. Okay. So first up, I got Monet versus Julia Hart in the Owen Cup.
Okay.
I already talked about my plans for the tournament, what I think is going to happen. So I think it has to be Monet, and I settled on a 6 because I'm pretty certain on it, but there's other ones.
I also don't think Monet is ditching any of the belts yet, and Julia Hart hasn't been built.
That's why I said she also hasn't done anything.
I'm taking Monet, and my certainty score was 5.
Okay, interesting. Pretty close, actually. Okay. Then we got Fletcher versus Briscoe. Winner of the match likely faces Hangman or Darby. Just saying.
Yeah.
But that helps me make my pick. I love Mark. He'd no doubt have a cracker against Hanger, but pales in comparison to what I think we could get with Fletcher and Hangman. Face heel just makes more sense. I think Fletcher's also got more upside. And I feel like he doesn't need to lose to Briscoe, no offense. Like, it doesn't really do him much good. And Briscoe losing is
no
fine.
World.
So it's Fletcher. But with my other ones, I worked this out to a 4, which
wow.
Like, so I guess doesn't exactly work, but like it's kind of whatever.
I just threw it on and said 10 because I
figured that's what you did. That's fair.
And I think there's like that's a pretty free 10 points.
It is a
just
lot.
Sitting on the ground.
Because I had a. Oh, okay. It makes sense where I put my 10.
I told you I feel like I'm pretty confident in a lot of my picks.
I did put my lower numbers strategically, and then I think that one is maybe a bit of a misstep. I mean, like sometimes the more middle ones are a little hard to equate.
They are. But I mean, if you pick them all right, your score doesn't matter because it'll be
I think
perfect.
I've placed my major ones well though. So for my next one is Ospreay Kevin Knight. I picked Ospreay with a 10.
I went Ospreay 9.
So right, that's where I put my 10. 'Cause I figured that's like
I did
the hurts and
initially.
the kit owners kind of thing from last show.
Should be a
speaking
cool
of
match.
which, Hurt Syndicate Learning Tree.
Yep.
I picked Hurt Syndicate with a 9 because as if Learning Tree wins something meaningful at the expense
They were
of them.
a replacement
Maybe
team.
MJF. Maybe MJF wins, or sorry, doesn't win. Helps them win.
I have Hurt Syndicate 8.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's much chance that they're losing, and to a team that wasn't even supposed to be in a match with them.
That's true. Tony Storm, Megan Bayne. I love Megan Bayne, but they've done jack all with her, so Storm wins, and I put that as an 8.
Same thing, but Storm 7. We talked about it. I'm not going to say much. We've talked about it a lot.
Garcia Cole, probably the hardest one to pick for me, and comes down to us not watching Collision.
Mm-hmm.
First match, they had no contest because of Shane Taylor people interference. Then they had time limit draw the second time, so nobody ringside, no time limit. I think could be good, but I'm well over the Garcia experiment. I think Cole deserves something substantial to do, and Title Run with him could be good. Could you have Undisputed Era break the rule, turn heel? I'm not overly certain because I don't really know if I should be, but I just feel like it should be cool and could be. So that this is my one, just because it's like it's the one I'm least certain of, and it has to be something, right? So
I just kind of want Garcia to be done because we've tried and it's not working. And you're right, Cole is on the ascent again, so I went Cole at 1 point as well.
Okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Then Death Riders Raid FTR. It's pretty simple. Raid FTR are gonna have some sort of issue. Death Riders retain. This is my 5.
Yeah, like I said, I'm thinking FTR turn on Edge because I don't know if Edge costs them
I don't know
the
if they
match
turn here
inadvertently. Though. I think they do.
Okay.
I think they unite and go heel, or I'm hoping they do. I guess. I said, sorry. What did you say for your score?
5.
I went Death Riders 4. We're very similar.
Okay. Omega Bailey's Ricochet for the international title. I think Omega Sky's run start. I feel like the purpose is to have a unification with Okada at All In, so he doesn't lose here. I have that set as 7.
Yes, and who takes the pin? Bailey? Is that why he's there?
I don't know. I feel like you don't have him lose yet. I feel like it's okay if Ricochet loses because he's
also
kind of a goober.
I have Omega too, and I have 6.
Okay.
But I mean, I guess you could get it off Omega without him being pinned too. There's always that, but I don't see it.
If we were gonna take it off Omega so soon, I would have kept it on Takeshita.
Yeah, true.
You know. Then we get Jericho Bandito, mask versus title for the ROH title. I can't imagine we unmask Bandito for no reason, but I don't put it past Jericho.
That makes me almost think I should have gone a higher certainty score.
Right. But I'm gonna pick Bandito, and I went with 2 because
I have Bandito 3.
I'm not putting it past
They're
Jericho.
not unmasking. I don't think they're unmasking Bandito.
Yeah. I'm just not 100%
Although
sure.
I also would have thought they wouldn't unmask Rey Mysterio, and they did. So
this isn't WCW.
do we have any different picks?
I don't think so. It's just coming down to points.
Right. So that's the layer it adds, right? It's much less likely for us to be tied.
Wouldn't it still be tied though? If we both get them all right?
No, if we have 2 things wrong, we both have the same couple things wrong, and our points are different, right?
No, but if we get them all right.
If we get them all right, yeah, it's a tie.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Which we might.
Which we won't. But then finally, Mox and Swerve. I think there's a not 0 chance Swerve wins, but at the end of the day, I think people picking Swerve are kind of stupid.
I was telling you, I was reading a bunch of stuff, and like 4 out of 4 were Swerve.
Like, I think it's a not 0 chance, but I also think it's a not likely chance.
I didn't pick him.
So it's Mox. Whether it's Darby or Hangman or Ospreay, Mox isn't losing it here. I think it'll be All In, and I think it's to one of them. I picked a 3 because it's the last number I had.
I think people are just sort of want the plug pulled on this so badly.
I get it.
And Swerve is awesome. Love Swerve to
Swerve's
death.
Great. I love him, but I don't think it makes sense story wise. I understand why.
I just don't feel it right now.
I agree. I understand wanting to pull the plug, but I also think pulling the plug kind of does a disservice to this. I think you still need to build up an end. You know what I mean?
Yes, it kind of is like it'll be so obvious they just pulled the plug if they do it here.
Right?
And I don't know how that sits.
As much as this isn't probably the big angle they wanted it to be, it still is like
Can't be.
It still had its ups. It's still decent sometimes.
We were enjoying it for 2 weeks.
It still is the big angle, right?
It is.
So you still need a payoff for that. You can't just
so clearly change course.
You can't just like vacuum it because it's not working. You still need to pay off it as you would naturally.
And I want it to stop too, but I don't think it stops here. So I had Mox. All I had left was 2.
Okay.
All right.
That is it.
All right. That is all. That's not bad. We're coming in at an hour 40s. For us, that is kind of short.
That's
so
actually shorter than I thought.
Thanks for joining us, taking any time out of your week to listen to us talk about wrestling. Hopefully we love Dynasty. Yes, that's the one. So much that we want to talk about it right away or quickly. You never know. That does happen with AEW stuff sometimes. If not, it'll be stapled onto the front end of episode 247 next Saturday. Hope to see you all back here then with bring some more people. See you next Saturday. Until then, everybody, take care.